All right. Hi, everyone. Natasha Robertson here for anyone who's new. I decided today's topic literally this morning. And the reason is because in the last 24 hours, I have had, no joke, 7 messages exactly on this topic. Where do I find more people? How do you find new people to talk to? Where are your leads coming from? Like, you're signing up, you got 6 PPA, you had 10 last month. Like, what are you doing? How are you finding these people? And then what really got me was when one person asked, so what ads do you have out there? And that's when I realized I really needed to cover this topic, because the way social media is set up, every single one of you on here truly has endless leads. You just aren't looking at the right place, or you're not looking at them as leads. And so I wanted to really cover that with you guys. So how many of you have ever or recently go, oh, I need new people? Like, just talk to me in the chat. Like, yes, I want new people, or where I want to find new people. I want to talk to new people. The same people are in my news feed. How do I flip my news feed over and stuff like that? And so if you guys are in agreement to cover this topic, yes, okay, good, you're talking to me in chat. Most of you know by now, I give as much as I get. So the chat is really something I like to know engagement's happening, that you're here with me, that you're liking, you're asking questions and stuff like that. Always looking for new people. Absolutely. New people. Okay. So what I'm going to do is we're going to kind of do some training here, but then we're going to kind of go into action. So this is going to be a little bit shorter, because what I'm going to teach you, I want you to immediately implement. I want you to immediately take action and start creating these conversations with these new leads, okay? So I was just like you not too long ago. If you were one that said, yeah, I need new people to talk to. Oh my gosh, the only people that are in my newsfeed are thrivers. Oh my goodness, I need new blood. I need new conversations. I need new. And I was kind of to that point, and I decided I needed to really, really dig in and reflect and go, am I overlooking something that is already right in front of my face? Or do I need to make some changes, right? If something isn't creating results, I know something has to change, or I'm overlooking something. Those are the two things I go. I reflect and I go, what might I do different, or what am I missing? Never will I go very long without reflection when I'm not getting results. If 1 month I had 10 new customers and the next month I had 2, something's wrong, and I need to reflect. I need to figure out, what did I change? What am I not doing? What might I do different? And make those changes, because as a business, you have to constantly be evolving and reflecting and making those important choices on how you're going to do things. And so what's really awesome about our industry and our company is we have so many incredible leaders and so many incredible things that are working for everyone. And sometimes we get so excited that we just change things up. And it wasn't that we needed the change, but we thought, oh, that's super cool, I'm going to go start doing that. But in reality, we should have stuck with what was working at that moment. And so that's really what was happening to me back a few months ago, actually about 6 months ago, where I was like, what is going on? Like, I'm stuck. And I hate that word. I don't like to use that word. I go, okay, we're not getting results. What might I do different? And I focus on that. So I want to teach you kind of exactly where I was missing. I totally overlooked it. It wasn't that I needed to do something completely different. It wasn't that I needed to change up my strategy or my system. It was simply I overlooked what was already in front of me. So I'm telling you right now that right now, I almost guarantee for all of you who are on here have at least 100 leads sitting in front of you that you're overlooking. And leads to me, and let me define that. Leads to me is a individual that is not thriving. Sorry, my computer keeps like, hold on guys. I'm gonna go to this. All right, I'm gonna take these out. My computer keeps like saying, how can I help you today? I'm like, no, you really can't help me right now. I need to talk. Okay, so these leads are right in front of you, and I realized I had overlooked them so much. And so how many of you, tell me in the chat, that every single day you at least post 1, 2, or 3 times a day? Like you post at least once a day. Yep, just drop, yep, I post. Okay, so on those posts, what I realized is a lot of those that were conversing in my post or liking, engaging, and reacting were all already part of my network, meaning they were already a promoter, a sideline, they were within the company, they were a customer, right? They were already part of what I was doing if it came to that kind of a post. And even those lifestyle posts, I would get a few individuals that weren't part of those lists. And I was like, gosh, what's wrong with my posts? What's happening here, right? I'm not getting the leads like I would love to get in this. Like, do I need to change up my language, my copy, my pictures that not like grabbing attention? And I'm here to tell you that's probably not necessary. And I started to dig in and I started to do some research and understanding the individual's reaction of engagement on social media. It's changed. A year ago and beyond, people would comment, right? They would comment and they would engage. Then it kind of turned to like they would just do a thumbs up, which I don't know about you, but when I see somebody like does this, I'm like, right? I hate it. It's so bad. I hate it. Like that thumbs up is like a middle finger to me. And I don't know why. And I don't know why, but I try to like pray on it and get rid of that feeling, but it is what it is. And they started just doing that. And I'm like, God, this is not working. But what has changed in the research and all the things that I was learning from all these experts that study social media, going onto the Facebook sites and really learning from Facebook themselves and Instagram themselves, was people are more interested in the stories than they are the content in your posts. If your post video, right? Video. But here's the thing. I could get 1,000 views. I don't know who viewed it unless they engage or comment, right? So I still don't know that. So at that time, I wasn't really consistent with my stories. And I started to learn more about the stories on Facebook, the stories on Instagram, and what I realized, not only learning how to do that, which is super easy, guys, it's not hard. There's where my endless leads come from. Right in front of me, sitting right in front of me. How many of you guys, when I just said that, you're like, oh my goodness, yes. Or, yep, I'm getting my leads from there. But are you overlooking some of them? And that's what I was doing. I was overlooking them. And so what's really cool about Facebook, I get well over 200 leads a week, you guys. Free leads, free engagement, free. All it takes is consistency. So it doesn't cost me a thing. It takes a little bit of my time, but a little bit of my time to not have the frustration of not knowing who can I talk to today. Or how many of you are like, I'm not any good at keeping lists. Kayla's amazing at lists. Natasha does spreadsheets. I'm not like that. I'm just not good. Well, I'm here to tell you, you don't have to be good at it, because Facebook archives those stories for you. The list is there. You don't have to create it. And that saves so much time. Okay, yeah, 200 leaves, Cheryl. I bet, Cheryl, if you are using stories at least once a day, I bet in the last week you have at least 50 or more leads that you are overlooking. So what I want you guys to realize is consistency on social media is great, but I'm telling you, consistency in your stories is where it's at. That is where the leads are. And this is why. They don't have to like, heart, or engage with your stories, Facebook and Instagram tell you exactly who looked at it. Exactly who looked at it. It's up to you as a business owner to look at that story and go, these are people interested in what I am about. Whether it's your life, your kids, your business, whatever, they're interested in you, or they wouldn't look at your stories. They wouldn't. They'd swipe right by. They wouldn't even take the time to look at what you're doing. And they really wouldn't take the time to engage on those stories and answer your polls and things like that. So here's what I want to say about that is on Facebook, how many of you guys know how to find your archived stories? You guys know how to find those? It's crazy. It's absolutely awesome. Nope. Yes. Nope. All right. So when you pull out your phone, this is my lovely Facebook right here. And you're going to click on those three little dots beside your name. So this is on mobile. See where it says right there, three little dots. Click on those three little dots. Up here at the top, it says Story Archive. Every single story you have ever done is going to be right here. Here's the difference between Facebook and Instagram. Facebook continues to show you who looked at it months and months ago. Instagram, it really only gives you, I think, 48 hours. It's a short period of time. So I love Facebook still. I know a lot of people do Instagram, which love Instagram too. It's just my platform, I'm still generating hundreds of leads from Facebook. So I'm going to focus here. So literally you click on one of them. This story right here, it is just a quote, got 832 viewers. 832 viewers. Now, when I go through these, I sort them. So guess what? This is my living list. My living list is right here in my stories. Did this just like blow your mind, some of you? Like seriously, people are like, how do you find new people to talk to? They're already looking at my stuff. I might as well talk to these people. Why should I go talk to people who don't know, like, or trust me? So that's the first barrier that you have to get over before somebody says yes to what you have to offer, the solution to their problem, right? They got to know, like, and trust you. If they're looking at your stories, they already know they probably like you and they're starting to trust you or do trust you. So you're already over that big roadblock that a lot of times you're like dancing to try to get to know somebody, try to get to like, when do I talk to them about Thrive? Or I just met this person. How long do you talk to them before you like go in and start, pitching them per se? Well, guess what? We're already over the biggest barrier when you look at your stories and go to see who actually was engaging on those stories, okay? And that just means they tapped on it and looked at it. Now, I also go to past posts. All of my past posts, I will make sure that I have been in contact with them. I've been in Messenger with them. I went over and commented and liked on their stuff. So I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about what I do with those names, because now we have names. The next roadblock I hear a lot is, what do I say? Which it's already you're already like asking it over here in the chat. So I love it. Okay. So what do I say? Well, I have to first sort them. In a sense, some people will write them down and sort them in lists. And yes, I do that for certain things. But when I'm looking at this, like 832 views on one story, that would take me hours to write those names down, to track it all and all that, right? So as fast as social media is right now, don't overwhelm yourself and slow yourself down by going, I gotta create lists. No, you really don't. But in your head, I want you to create lists in a sense of cold, warm, and hot. I keep it super simple. A cold person, I've not really talked to them. Haven't really had any, but they're looking at my stories, right? It's kind of like that person in your story when you're looking at who saw it, your viewers, and you're like, who is that? That's a cold person. you haven't really started any conversations with them. So what's really cool is I will be in this story here and I'll be like, wow, that person reacted. I don't even know who they are, right? So if they even react, they give me a heart or something, I'm like, ooh, I need to start loving on them, because it's a two-way street. And here's where people will jump ahead of themselves, is they just go right into a message with cold people. And cold people are still cold people. They might know of you or been interacting in your stories, but you really haven't built that two-way street. And so with the cold people that I'm like, I don't know who this is, I'm going to click on their name. And then I'm going to click, it takes you right into Messenger, right? So that's the cool thing. You can immediately start messaging and go, oh yeah, I actually do know this person. I've talked to them a while. If this is empty, here's what I do in a cold person. I will click on their name. I will then go to their Facebook profile. And I just look to see who they're about. And I find 2 things on their timeline recent, 2 things. And I engage on 2 things. I don't go crazy. I engage in 2 things, then move on to the next person. My cold people, that's how I respond to them, how I interact with them. And then eventually those cold people turn into warm people because I recognize their name. They're engaging with me more. And then all of a sudden they go into my warm list, where my warm list is people I've communicated with. I know who they are. I recognize their name. I opened up Messenger and I've had some conversation with them. And so with my warm people, those people I'm typically in Messenger with. And it's always, here's how the conversation starts. So if I am specifically looking at, let me go back to this because it's easy to give an example when I think here. So, okay, so I had 583 people who looked at my day 9 75 hard. So I'm like, okay, this person is not a thriver. So these people are non-thrivers, y'all. And there's another place to do follow-up with your team and thrivers and give them some love. But these are people who are non-thriving. They're not part of my organization at all. So like this person, I'm like, okay, Ashley, she's not thriving with me, but as you can see, I'm friends with her. I've had conversation. So I'm going to go back to what was the story, day 9, 75 hard. So with that person, I'm going to go, hey girl, I know you also, because she's also doing a program. How you doing on your program you're doing? It's a conversation relatable to the story or relatable to their life. It's not about me. It's not like, hey, thanks for checking out my story, or hey, thanks for what did you like about my story? That's all about me. That's fingers pointed in, and I want to serve, and I want to point out, and I want to ask them about them. I want to serve them. I want to help them. I want to cheer them on. I want to encourage them. I want to celebrate them. And then that builds that know, like, and trust. And you don't ever have to, most times you don't even have to ask for a sale. They're going to ask you how your product can help them because they're following you already. And if you're consistent with being a thriver and sharing stories in your story, guess what? They're already going to have, so conversations just have to be human and relatable, and that you care and that you're serving them and you're celebrating them, and they're going to want to celebrate with you. Okay, so that's my warm market, and then the hot market, and then I'll let you guys ask questions. The hot market means when I go to someone's name, that means I have been talking to them. I know their name. They're on my you're going to thrive with me list, or you're going to join my business list. I know those people. They're in my head. I know exactly who those people are. So if I see that they were watching my story, especially if they watched all the stories of the day, I'm going to reach out to them, and my hot market is going to be more of a conversation if it makes sense and where I am in conversation in Messenger. This all is happening in Messenger for warm and hot, okay? Cold is happening over on their timeline until things transition into Messenger. But hot, I'm going to be like, all right, I got this deal. I'm super excited. I have 3 of them, and I want you to have one of these deals. Are you ready to start thriving with me? And yes, I say it just like that because I have a relationship with them. And I always say, if you're not ready yet, totally cool. I just wanted to give you the first dibs. Urgency and respect. Respect in the fact that I'm cool if they tell me no. And it doesn't change conversation at all going into the future. I don't feel weird talking to them in the future because I've given them an option to say no, or the urgency usually is like, okay, yep, I'm ready. And the exclusivity also, so if you heard that, I'm exclusively pulling them out. I have 3 of them left, and only 3. And I don't lie about that stuff, guys. I don't have endless, I don't want to bring on 10 new people in a day. That's not manageable, but I can bring on 3 new people in a day. That's manageable. So I'm not hyping it or exploding it. It literally is, if I have a deal I'm giving to people, if I'm giving them free shipping, well, guess what? It's probably only to 3 or 4 people, and that's all I want to handle, because then I got 3 or 4 people starting, and I want to give optimal, high level, efficient customer service, and I cannot do that with 10 people starting on the same day. It's just not possible, and it's not fair to them. So that's what conversation happens in the hot. So now that I've showed you where endless leads are, that you have endless leads, and if you don't yet, it usually means you're not as consistent in stories. So you just got to get more consistent and more, like, I let people into my life. I'm more vulnerable in my stories than I am in my posts. My posts are more postured in a sense, and my stories are like, you want an in-depth, in behind the scenes look? Well, here you go. Right? And so that's what my stories are more like. I'm way more vulnerable in my stories, and I'm more open to sharing my life in my stories. So those are some things there. So, all right. Any questions you have? I'm going to go through the chat here. Hold on just a second. All right. Mind blown, genius. Now, I'm a student always, and I just found people who knew how to get leads without spending money. And I was open to learning, open to implementing, and being consistent. So it is genius, but it's not my genius. I took action, and it works. And I want to share that stuff with you guys. I just want you guys to know. Definitely didn't come up with it myself. Let's see. How do you sort them? I already shared with that. Sorting is just cold, warm, hot. You can define your warm, cold, hot, but I gave you those definitions. All right. How do you start conversation? Already talked about that. Okay. Do likes get the same reaction and algorithm as much as comments? So, that's always changing. I don't waste or spend much time on that, to be totally honest. I want people to know that I took time. So I'm always going to go, and if I'm in that cold, I'm going to be commenting. I'm not just going to be reacting. I'm actually going to be commenting, because it took more time, which then increases your relationship status a little bit faster. So commenting, in my opinion, is always better. But as far as algorithm, I don't get caught up in that. I just know if I'm doing what I need to do, my algorithm's going to be great. A lot asked about sorting. How are you sorting? Amber, did I cover that? You can unmute. I think I did.
I think it's that when you were first saying, you're like, I sort them right here, and maybe I missed it. I know you did cold, warm, hot, but like, is there something in Facebook that we don't know about that you can move your people around, or you're just like taking them to your physical list?
Right. So I just scroll, and in my head, I'm sorting them, especially if you have that many viewers.
Okay.
It's just kind of a sort, but if it's somebody that pops out that you're like, whoa, this person's watching me, you take that name and you write that name down. Like, do not let that stay in the head, because you'll forget, and then you won't, that lead will slowly become cold again, because you are engaging. So hot leads are always on a list, like paper list for me, but the rest, like the cold is like, oh, who's this person? I want to go see who this person is. And I also, guys, this is kind of where, if the person is cold, everything on my profile is public. And that's something I encourage. And if you're not comfortable with it, that's okay. That's cool. That's you. I do me, you do you. But everything I do is public, because my cold market comes to me. They're seeing my stuff. I'm not even friends with these people, So when I go over to their timeline, because I don't know their name, and I go to check them out, I'm like, I like this chick. I like what she's about. I can relate to her. You better believe that I start engaging, I hit that friend request. And the moment she accepts my friend request, I'm in Messenger just talking to her about, oh my gosh, girl, like, this is, like, we have so much in common. You have young kids, and I absolutely love your personality. I can't wait to get to know you more on Facebook. And then we start a conversation. I'm not weird about it. Amber?
So I have a question that you may have a trick to. In stories, when you go down to your viewers, at the bottom it says other. And it's like you can't see who they are because they're not your friends. Is there a trick to that?
There isn't.
Okay.
No, there isn't.
I've been trying to figure it out. I was like, if there is, Natasha knows it.
No, it's kind of like a luck of the draw. Like, these people that aren't your, like, so not all of your non-friends will show up on stories, but some of them do. So I think it's just like this randomness that happens, because I can never get that to open. I've searched for it and I don't know how to open it. I have no clue. If you're not friends, will it show names? It does on my end, because my stuff's public. So it could just depend on your privacy settings. All right. So any other questions about where I find my leads, how I sort, or anything like that? Any? They could be followers, Joanne. They very well could be. I don't know that answer, but I mean, as long as you're consistent, your numbers are going to be high, and you're going to have consistent leads coming in. So as you guys are already right now, I know a lot of you are already in your stories like, all right, who is this chick? Who is this dude? I tell you, when they tell us to do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 as our basic daily foundational income producing activities, if you are doing stories consistently every day, that first one, that 5, that reach out, you're literally going to talk to more than 40 people in a day. Like, that 5 just doubled and tripled and quadrupled, because these are endless leads that you have. They're already part of your life. They're watching what you're doing. They're interested in what you're doing, or they're confused supporters, right? They don't like what you're doing, but they want to see what you're doing. So, but they're still part of your leads list. Okay. Emily says, totally off topic, but I'm working on building a schedule for my day for family time, everything. Her routine went out the window. Yes, absolutely. Everybody's routine went out the window. Ed Milet, he's amazing. Yes. On Rise Live, talking about mini day theory. Have you heard of it? Would you suggest trying it? Here's what I say to that, Emily. If what you have right now, no matter what it is, if it's not working, then absolutely try something different. Give it a week, 10 days. Does it work? Awesome. And that's on anything that you try new. So Kayla has some incredible stuff that I'm implementing and I'm doing. Guess what? I'm going to give it a good 7 to 14 days of executing her way that I have never done before. I'm going to judge on, does it work for me or doesn't it? I always give a schedule at least 2 weeks. I always give a diet or a food plan 2 weeks to know, can I sustain this? Can I do this? Am I getting results? Is this just too far-fetched? You know, all those things. Anything that you change, if it's not working, make a change, give it time, and make another change if it's still not working. It's just not for you. So everyone's going to be different on that. All right. Any other questions? Because now that you have endless leads, you have a lot of people that you need to go talk to. Amber, you got anything you want to
add? Just don't freak out.
So when I want to know, like, when you went back on your archive stories, guys, what was your number of viewers? Like, I want to see these views, because, like, people tell me they ain't got people to talk to. And when they tell me their views on their stories, I'm like, you have a lot of people to talk to. A lot of people. Lisa messaged me and I'll give you some tips. Oh, it must be something else. 206, Randy, look at that. Like, you're busy for the rest of the freaking day. How can you ever reach out to 263 people? You can't. That's why the sorting is so important. 130, Debbie, like, holy crap, 130, 20 people, Susan, 20 people that you didn't know was watching that you can immediately start talking to. Like, you already have 20 conversations to have. 28, 40, 600. Holy moly, Glenn. Whoa, that's awesome.
Well, and the people that have 20, Natasha, the more they are consistently posting in their stories, the more their viewers rates goes up. So yeah, continuously post, build a story. I had someone ask the other day talking about just like posts, like, well, I post, I'm like, but it's a story. So it unfolds, right? Like when you're reading a book, the next page, it unfolds. So like if you're, your first clip and then something else, whether it's your step 1, 2, 3, or, oh my gosh, look at my dog, he's going to the groomer. Oh, he's scared of the groomer. Oh, he's so cute now that he got to the groomer. Like it's a story. It goes in a row.
Yeah. And if you're like me, I just randomly put stuff in there. Like there ain't no story happening in my life because my life is crazy. But yeah, I mean, that would be a story. It'd be like you're kind of giving them something and then they want to watch and see what happens next. And also know, guys, that your stories don't have to be today. There's times I'm like, I've sat in this office all day. Nobody wants to see my office view. They've seen it yesterday and the day before and the day before and the day before and the day before. So I will go into my photos and I'll throw up a picture from months ago. Nobody has a clue. And don't be afraid to do that because it can be like, God, like it's super easy right now. Oh, I so can't wait to get to the beach. And you post a picture of you being at the last beach you were on. And then you ask, who's ready to, get your toes in the sand again. And people are going to be like, yes, 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 right? That'll increase your engagement there. Also know the more people that you engage with, so your cold leads and you're going over to their timeline and commenting on their stuff, that's gonna get them to see your stories, right? They'll all of a sudden start seeing your stuff. So that's how you continuously bring new people into your viewers. I always feel like they will know. No, they won't know. And if they do know, like, who cares? Like, I don't care. Other people's opinions of my posts ain't none of my business, and I don't care. Yes, do you reuse stories? Yeah, absolutely. Like, I take pictures of products, and I'm telling you, if it was a good picture of me in Sculpt a year and when it came out, you've probably seen the picture a few times where I'm like, yeah, it's the same picture from like when it first launched. Just saying. If I'm talking about Sculpt. So yeah, I reuse story pictures. The thing is not everybody's seeing your story on the day that you posted it. It's gone in 24 hours. So why not reuse that sucker in the next month? Nobody's going to know other than your thriving friends that are always like wanting to see what you're posting so they get ideas. Well, that's just going to give them the approval in a sense to reuse stories. And that is truly okay. It's absolutely okay. 220 on a banana pudding story. Hello, people want to know about recipes and they want to know about food. So that's awesome. That's an easy one to say, especially if they engaged in it. Like, hey, my banana pudding story. So did you try that recipe? If they engaged or asked you a question, it's absolutely easy way to converse with those people. How to share story, how to share stories from the fan page. So so Lisa, how I do it is I will pull the picture. So I'll save the picture to my phone and then I'll throw it up there, and I'll have when I'm doing a story, like usually on Tuesdays, it's Transformation Tuesday or Flex Friday. Those are the 2 days I typically put Thrive in my stories. That's just my routine. You can do whatever you want. Totally cool. Every morning, I know Amber is doing her 1, 2, 3. That's her routine. That's what she does on her stories. It's consistent. Oh.
Or at least my one. My capsules get posted every morning. Like sometimes distractions happen and 2 and 3 doesn't. But every morning my capsules, like they're going to see my capsules.
Right. And so that's consistency. They know that's going to happen. And so for me, it's Transformation Tuesday. So what I do is I pull a picture that's a transformation picture. From the story, I will pull out those highlighted points of more energy, a better mama, like, let's cheer on, especially if I'm friends with the person. I will tag them in it and I'll say, check out my friend Susie's transformation, more energy, a happier mom, all these things. And so it's like little things on there versus the whole story, because people won't stop and really read a whole story on a story.
Can I say something real quick?
Absolutely.
Answered a lot of questions. I knew how to do a little bit of that, but now if I want to save it onto my Facebook page, like just to get some looks at it, like from nurses or different, would you do it that way, or would you share it personally, individually?
Whatever works for you. So personally, I get more results when I share a specific story with a specific person in a messenger conversation. I will still do stories on my actual page, but not as often. I'm sharing anywhere from 7 to 12 stories in Messenger a day. So it just depends on where you find the results. That's where I get results. I know the person I need to see it is going to see it when I send it to them in Messenger. If I post it, I don't know if that person will actually see it, and I'm not going to personally tag them, but you can tag them. Like, you can do those things. It's up to you. Amber, you gonna say something? You came in. Okay, all right. What's the best way to share stories from Lavelle? Yeah, I already talked about that. Yes, I will be posting the recording on YouTube for today. But what I want to do now is, just know that you have a lot of leads. You have a lot of leads. And I know many of you are probably already like working this while I'm talking. Never, ever in the future do I ever want to hear anyone say, I don't have anyone to talk to. Because you do. You just overlooked them, or you're not working it as a business when you're seeing those things and you're having those conversations. So I'm excited for your guys' results. This is something that I overlooked personally, and my business has exploded since I put this into action, and I pay attention to those people that are viewing it, and I'm sending the messages, and I'm having real relationship conversations with them, not just pitching them, not just asking them for a sale. I truly am increasing that know, like, and trust. And the sale is coming because they're more interested in what I have to offer them as a solution, because I talk about it. Amber talks about her capsules every morning. If people can't get their butts out of bed and she's engaging with them, well, guess what? Sooner or later, they're going to go, so do those capsules really get you out of bed? Because she's consistent and they're looking for a solution to the problem that she's addressing every single day without shoving it down their throat. Like, you don't shove that post down their throat. They're viewing it. And that's the beautiful thing about stories, is they've chose to view it. Awesome, awesome, awesome. All right, Amber, you got any last things you want to say before I close her?
No, well, I was going to say no. I'm shaking my head, but I don't think you can.
Oh, I was looking at names.
So I was like, I'll just unmute. No, the thing is, this is May, and this is a great month. There's still so much craziness happening, but like the weather's opening up. It's getting better, of course, depending on where you are. But just, this is a great time to kind of start talking, oh my gosh, I'm outside. It's spring. It's beautiful. Like, whatever, just post, like, just get out there and post some things. Are you planting flowers? Like, I love pictures of the flowers we planted. I love showing that I'm watering my garden. Like, they probably don't give a crap that I'm watering my flowers, but it's part of me. It's part of my day. I'm like, here I am watering flowers. Like, I compare everything in my life to gardening and farming. So, like, it's just me. I post when the dog does silly stuff. Like, just post. Don't overthink it. Don't let it overwhelm you. These list of people, just do it. Natasha's giving you amazing nuggets. Just take something from it right now. Get off this Zoom and go do it. That's it.
Awesome. Well, I've seen the numbers over here. Y'all got some work to do. So we are done. Go out and have conversations and grow your know, like, and trust, build the relationships, and the customers will come. So see you guys.